Your next witness.
State calls Nathan Tuten.
Raise your right hand, left hand on the Bible. Do you affirm the testimony about to give before in this trial shall be the truth, so help you God? And to take a seat in the witness stand. State your name again for the record. Spell your last name.
Nathan Tuten, Tuten.
Nathan, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good, how about you?
Doing well. Why don't you tell this jury a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, where you went to school. Start there.
I'm from Hampton, South Carolina. I graduated from Wade Hampton High School in 2018. I have a degree in criminal justice from University of South Carolina and graduated in 21.
And Nathan, it's hard to pick up you on the mic, so if you would, I know pull it as close as you can and just try to speak into it so we can all hear you. Okay, so I think you said you graduated high school 2018. You got a degree from where?
University of South Carolina.
And what field was it in?
Criminal justice.
Okay. And what year did you graduate USC?
21.
And what do you currently do for a living?
Law enforcement officer.
Okay, with what organization?
Walterboro Police Department.
All right. And describe your job responsibilities. What do you do as a Walterboro police officer?
I enforce the laws of the state and serve and protect.
You work in road patrol right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Nathan, growing up in this area, were you childhood friends with Paul Murdoch?
That's correct.
When's the first time you met Paul?
Lifelong friends. Very young age.
Growing up in Hampton, knew him as a kid?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about Paul. What do you remember about him? Tell us the kind of guy he was.
Paul was the definition of a good person and a good friend. He's very loyal, salt of the earth kind of guy, and would do anything for you at any given moment, no matter the time.
What were kind of things that you all like to do together?
We like to hunt and fish, and really just hang out with friends.
Was Paul the kind of friend that you kind of call a reliable friend?
Absolutely.
All right. Was he the kind of kid that would be there for you if you needed help with anything?
Absolutely.
Did you spend a lot of time together with Paul through the years?
I did, yes, sir.
Did Paul have a cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Did he like to use his cell phone?
Yes, sir.
How would you describe it?
He was on his phone all the time.
In addition to being on his phone all the time, was he the kind of guy that if you needed something or reached out to him, he was going to respond back to you?
That's correct.
Was he going to call you back if you called him if he missed the phone call?
Yes.
And would you expect him to pick up if you called him?
Yes.
All right. Did you get to know Maggie also?
I did.
All right. Tell us a little bit about her.
Maggie was probably one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met in my life. She always looked out for Paul's friends and was a second mom to me.
And having spent a lot of time with Paul, did you also spend a lot of time with Maggie?
That's correct.
And then did you also get to know Alex?
I
his
did.
Dad? Okay. And is Alex here today?
Yes, she is.
Can you tell me where he is?
He's sitting at that table wearing the blue jacket.
And did you get to know him very well?
I did.
Through the years? Did you know the family before they moved their primary residence out to what we call Moselle? Did you know them before then?
I did.
Okay. Were you there when they moved or obtained Moselle and started using that as a residence?
I was.
All right. When Moselle was first constructed, how many entrances and exits were there?
Just one.
And which one was that?
That was the one by the cabin, or one that leads to the sheds.
Okay. And the sheds mean, is that the dog kennels in the hangar area?
That's correct.
And the cabin I think you referred to, is there a cabin on the at the front of that entrance?
That's correct.
Okay. And who put the mailbox in there?
I believe it's Maggie.
And tell us about that cabin. Tell us where it's situated and why you know so much about it.
My freshman year of college, Paul and I actually lived together at the cabin.
So it's like a small house, basically.
That's correct.
And where is it situated in regards to the hangar area?
A little bit closer to the highway,
How many feet or how far away?
100 yards maybe.
And so you lived there, I think you said for the summer?
It's just a semester.
A semester?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How would you describe yours and Paul's friendship? How often would you guys communicate a day?
Just about every day. Every other day.
Phone calls
That's correct.
and texts?
Primarily phone calls.
And later in life, did Paul go to school?
He did.
Where did he go?
USC,
And that's located where?
Columbia.
And did you see him whenever he would come back into town?
I would.
Would he come back frequently?
No, sir.
At the college level? At the college years?
No, sir.
When would you see him? Would you see him in the summers when school was out?
Good bit.
All right, and I think you mentioned before y'all did a lot of fishing and a lot of hunting. Are you familiar with firearms in general?
I would say so.
Did Paul have any guns that he favored? Ones that he kept on him and kept with him most of the time?
He did.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about, however you want to describe those two guns.
The two guns that were with us most of the time was a black 300 blackout and a camouflage 12 gauge Super Black Eagle 3.
And the black 300 blackout, what was that firearm used for primarily?
Anything.
Did you use it for hunting?
I did.
Okay. What would you hunt with that gun?
Anything.
Did it have the scope? I think you said there's a scope on the top or some sort of sight. How would you describe that?
As thermal scope.
Meaning you could see heat?
That's correct.
Okay. And describe the Benelli shotgun that you just mentioned also. What did it look like, and how did you know it was Paul's?
It had a very distinct digital camouflage pattern, and he had a gun strap that he's used since I've known him, and that's what stayed on that shotgun.
Do you know the differences between, so we hear, Benelli Super Black Eagle models, and then I think we've heard 3 and 2 and 1. Do you know the differences between the various models?
I do.
Okay. So when you look at it, they have distinctive features on them that would tell you whether it's a 3 or a 2 or a 1?
Very subtle differences, but yes.
But you feel comfortable that you know the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Sorry.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as, entered in evidence as State's Exhibit 88. Permission to approach the witness. Nathan, I'm handing you what's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 88. You feel comfortable taking this for a second and now telling me if you know what it is?
I do.
Okay. There you go. Be aware of the muzzle.
This is Paul's rifle.
And you know that because you've used this a bunch of times?
That's correct.
And I'll also now show you what's entered into evidence as State's Exhibit number 4. Is this one? This is State's Exhibit 4. Do you feel comfortable taking a look at this for me for a second and let me know if you know which firearm this is?
I do.
All right.
No, the safety's off.
It's inert. Thank you.
This is Paul's shotgun.
How do you know?
I've used it several times in our distinct camouflage pattern along with Paul's gun strap.
This strap in particular is Paul's.
That's correct.
How do you know this is a Model 3 Benelli Super Black Eagle?
Well, would you like me to explain?
Absolutely.
So there are a few subtle differences. One being the forearm grip. The Super Black Eagle 3 has a slight flare or increase in curve. Another difference would be the trigger magazine port has an indentation that allows you to insert shot shells easier. The Super Black Eagle 2 and previous models don't have that. Another difference would be the button that releases the bolt, which makes the weapon operable. The previous models, being the original and number 2, are circular, whereas this one is more rectangular. I mean, the easiest way to tell the difference is they're labeled 2 and 3.
Thank you. I'm going to show you now what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 91. You feel comfortable handling this gun for a second? Let me know if you recognize what it is.
I do.
Do you recognize what this gun is?
I recognize that as Buster Murdoch shotgun,
Okay. What model is this?
Super Black Eagle 2.
And you know it's a 2 because of the other features you just mentioned and pointed out for the jury?
That's correct.
Would you do that again? Tell us why you know that's a 2.
Like I mentioned earlier, the slight flare on the 3. This one is straighter and more narrow. Does not have the indentation for the magazine port, and the button is circular.
And you said it was Buster's shotgun. How do you know that?
The Mojo sticker on the barrel.
The sticker at the top of the barrel there?
That's correct.
Familiar with it. Mojo.
That's correct.
Did Alex have a gun that he favored, a shotgun?
He did.
What was the one that he favored?
That was a Super Black Eagle original black shotgun.
Are you familiar? Did Paul have a 300 blackout rifle prior to the black one you just identified?
That's correct.
All right. Were you familiar with what happened to that firearm, the original one?
I am.
All right. Tell us the story.
It was a party, and there was a black 300 blackout and a tan 300 blackout, and he had the tan one, and it got stolen from a party one night.
Speak up.
It was stolen from a party one night.
You know what year that was? Approximate year?
I'd say early 2018.
And that was our firearm that was stolen was what color again?
A tan.
Tan. All right. At what point in the Moselle property was what year, approximate year, was the second entrance created? That one with the brickwork.
I'm not sure.
It was a few years though after they'd owned the property. The family had owned the property.
That's correct.
Was it common to use either entrance by the family to leave and enter the property?
Yes and no.
All right, we'll explain.
Paul and I and friends would use the entrance by the sheds more, whereas Alec and Maggie would use the main gate entrance more.
If you all, and let me ask you, before we get to my next question, what the hangar area with the kennels, are you familiar with it?
That's correct.
Could you describe to the jury just the very basic layout of that area?
It was kennels as you were riding into the driveway. The kennels would be on your left. The shed or hangar would be directly on your right. There was another shed that they had built in front of the hangar, and there was a skinning shed for animals out back to the right.
And would you spend a lot of time down at the hangar area and kennel area?
We would.
Why would y'all hang out there? Why was that the kind of the collection place?
It's just a central location where everything was located.
Tools?
Correct.
And farm equipment?
Correct.
If you all were spending time down at the kennels and someone was leaving the house, would it be common for them that someone, whether it's, Alex or Maggie, to stop by on their way out, leaving the property?
Yes, sir.
That would be what would normally happen?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to play what's been marked as, I'm going to show you what's been, not marked, but entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 297. If you would, you have a little screen there. If you wouldn't mind watching that for me and listening. Thank you for the computer.
Get it! Get that! Quit, Cash. Come on. Quit. It's okay. Come here. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come on. Hold still. Cash.
Hey, he got a bird in his mouth.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Did you hear voices on that video that we just played?
I did.
Whose voices did you hear?
Paul Murdoch's, Maggie Murdoch's, and Alec Murdoch's.
Could you tell where they were located in that video? Did you get a sense of where that was?
Dog kennels.
Okay. The kennels down at the hangar area?
That's correct.
We heard yelled out a name called Bubba. Are you familiar with Bubba?
I am.
Who's Bubba?
That'd be Paul's dog,
Okay. And what kind of dog is he?
a yellow lab.
Is he trained? Well, was he was he a house pet or a pet?
At that time, yeah.
Was he also trained to hunt or be a hunting dog or a bird dog?
That's correct.
Did Bubba have a? Well, describe Bubba. How would you describe Bubba?
Hard-headed.
Did Bubba have a thing where he liked to chase chickens?
I'd say so, yeah.
If a chicken got out of the pen, would he chase it?
That's correct.
Have you ever been there when he caught chickens?
He would chase anything.
He'll chase. Did you ever there when he caught birds though that were coming out of that coop?
I mean, he's tried. Could I say I've seen him? No.
Okay. Were you aware then that Bubba? Were you aware that Bubba would chase those chickens?
Absolutely.
And had you been aware that he killed chickens before by getting
I am.
them? Have you ever had to wrestle anything out of Bubba's mouth or try to catch him when he doesn't want to be caught?
Tried to catch him.
And if he doesn't want to be caught, what's going to happen?
Not catching him.
Did you begin working at the law firm we've heard called PMPED?
That's correct.
All right, when did you start working there?
I believe it was February of 2019.
Okay, and what was your job there?
I was a runner.
Runner for the law firm in general.
That's correct.
Kind of, without specifically not yet talking about the work you did for Alex, but what kind of work would you do there generally?
Be a courier for court documents to different courthouses and law offices across the state. Assist paralegals and attorneys with really whatever they needed. Just help around the office.
Okay. And you worked there from 2019, and when's the last time you worked there?
I want to say it was May of 21.
So May of 2021, or
Excuse me, 2022.
2022. So you would have continued to work there through the tragic events of June 7th, 2021?
That's correct.
So you saw the upheaval at the law firm as well. You witnessed that?
That's correct.
Nathan, I'm gonna direct your attention to the weekend leading up to June 7th. Could you tell us a little bit about the any communications you would have had with Paul leading up to June 7th? Did you all talk any leading up to it?
To the best of my memory, we spoke that Saturday. I think he called me over the weekend.
Did it seem like a normal conversation?
Yes, sir.
What were y'all talking about?
He was going to Charleston, I believe, and just talking on the way.
Is that the last time you talked to Paul?
That's correct.
How were you made aware of what happened? How'd you find out?
I received a phone call from my mother the night of. Not sure how she knew, but shortly after I received a phone call from one of the law partners that told me.
And they called you because they knew you were close with Paul?
That's correct.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living with another friend of mine in Allendale County.
And did you go out there that night?
I did not.
Did you attend the funeral and wake?
I did.
Is that the last time you went to Moselle?
Yes, sir.
After these events, how did it affect you?
It was hard. Losing a really good friend and a really good person.
After these events, I think you said already, but you continued to work at the law firm.
That's correct.
How was Alex? Was he out of the office for some time leading after this event on June 7th?
That's correct.
Did he eventually start coming back into the office?
A little bit.
Did you have an opportunity or an occasion or multiple occasions to do running for Alex?
Yes, sir.
All right. And this would be before the murder?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about what Alex would have you do.
If I needed to pick up court documents from different law firms or courthouses, drive them depositions, cash checks, some of the things.
I'm sorry, you said cash checks?
That's correct.
He had you cash checks for him?
That's correct.
All right, well tell me, where would he send you to cash the checks?
Palmetto State Bank.
Okay. What were your instructions for that?
Cash a check.
And what would you do with the money?
Take it back to his office. And
Like cash?
that's correct.
Is it in an envelope or are you just holding it?
It was in a Palmetto State envelope.
Okay. And you would take that envelope of cash and where would you bring it?
Back to his office.
Okay, and just hand it to him.
That's correct.
How many times did he have you cash checks like that?
Very frequently.
Very frequent?
That's correct.
Many times.
Many times.
Was there ever a time when you cashed that check and there was a room full of, has there ever been any time where you cashed the check, brought it back to Alex's office, and there was someone in his office?
That's correct.
Multiple people, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Tell us who those folks were that you would have been there when Alex is sending you to get cash, you're coming back with the cash, and there's someone sitting in his office.
There was different occasions. One particular occasion was Greg Alexander.
Who's he?
I believe he's the chief of police for the embassy.
Okay.
Corey Fleming.
Do you know
And-
Corey Fleming?
I do.
And what did he do?
He was an attorney as well.
Okay.
And Michelle's best friend.
Okay, and who else?
And Chris Wilson.
And do you know who Chris Wilson is?
I do.
Who is he?
He's an attorney in Bamberg, I believe.
When did Alex stop asking you to cash checks? What was the time frame?
I believe it was a few weeks before the murders. So
A few weeks. You've been doing this a lot, and a few weeks before the murder, he doesn't ask you to cash any more checks.
that's correct.
Did you have an opportunity, or were you assigned to assist, or let me ask you this: do you know who Jeannie Seconder is?
I am.
And who is she, and who was she at the time to you back in 2021 range?
She was my immediate supervisor.
And were you ever, after the events of June 7th, were you assigned and tasked to assist her in her investigation of financial improprieties within the firm?
In some ways, yes.
All right. All right, and continuing, you were assigned to assist Jeannie, and what kind of things were you doing in that capacity?
We would look through different cases. She would have me get cases from probate court and go through and highlight cleared checks, and if I found a discrepancy, bring it to her.
Did you understand the scope and what you were looking for? Did she kind of involve you in that?
Somewhat.
Did you figure out kind of shortly thereafter what you were looking for, or what the reason was?
I'd say so.
I'm going to direct your attention to July of 2021, specifically July 4th, or July 4th time frame. You have that in your brain?
I do.
Did you drive Alex to the airport?
I did.
Tell us about that. Why did you drive him to the airport?
Well, at the time I was still a runner, and he asked me to give him a lift to the airport, so that's what I did.
Where was he going?
I believe he was going to Florida Keys with Maggie's family.
Okay. So he's going on vacation to the Keys on July 4th weekend or July 4th time frame?
That's correct.
And did you in fact drive him to the airport?
That's correct.
Did you have a chance, did he say anything to you on that ride to the airport?
We talked.
Did he tell you anything about the boat case?
He did.
What did he say?
He said that he would like to clear Paul's name.
And do what? And beat the boat case?
Beat the boat case.
So now with Paul gone, he's talking about he can beat the boat case.
That's correct.
This is a month after the murder?
That's correct.
Okay. Beg the court's indulgence. Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It was very important, Alex, to clear Paul's name from the accusations in the boating case, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That's what he told you, right?
But that's what he said, but I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, you know that he stood behind Paul all throughout the boating case, the criminal part, right?
That's correct.
And a lot of people in the Hampton community turned their backs on Paul, didn't they?
That's correct.
You didn't, did you?
No, sir.
Alex and Maggie didn't, did they?
No, sir.
Your brother didn't, did he?
No, sir.
And are you sure it was July 4th?
The week of the 4th. That's correct.
Okay. And he was going to Florida on a vacation and visiting with Maggie's parents, Maggie's sister, brother-in-law. You understood that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're talking about, you went and got cashing some checks with, for Alec, and sometimes you'd come back, give him the cash, and you mentioned that Greg Alexander was in his office one time, Corey Fleming one time, Chris Wilson one time. You remember that?
That's correct.
I mean, what'd you do when you walk in? Just give the envelope to Alec?
Yes, sir.
Did you sit down and see what he did with the money?
Not at all.
Are you suggesting that he was giving Greg Alexander any of the money?
I'm not suggesting anything.
Okay. Do you know if that's what the Attorney General was trying to suggest by asking you that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
You've known Paul, you knew Paul all his life for the most part, correct?
Correct?
And how old are you?
23.
And I think you described Alex and Maggie as kind of your second parents.
That's correct.
And you spent a lot of time at Moselle. You hunted with Paul. And Buster, too, I take it.
That's correct.
And you lived there at that cabin you talked about right there on the edge of Moselle Road, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And Paul's go-to guns were a .300 Blackout and the 12-gauge Benelli that you identified here in the courtroom, right?
That's correct.
But now you knew that Paul's had originally been given a .300 Blackout for Christmas that got stolen, right?
That's correct.
Did you go to the party with Paul and he had the .300 Blackout in his truck? You go in the party, come back, and it's gone?
Not exactly how it happened.
How did it happen?
Didn't realize it was missing for a few days.
Okay. And Paul would never lock his truck, would he?
No, sir.
And he would leave guns in his truck, right?
That's correct.
Did you know that that .300 Blackout had been replaced?
I did not.
Okay. When did you learn that?
This trial?
During the trial.
That's correct.
But up until the trial, you never knew that it had been replaced.
No.
But you'd seen Paul use .300 Blackout you identified as his go-to gun, right?
That's correct.
And the .300 Blackout that you identified has a thermal scope, does it not?
That's correct.
And whose gun did you think got stolen? Paul's or Buster's?
I would assume Paul's.
Were you aware that the .300 Blackout replacement did not have a thermal scope?
If I didn't know about the gun, then no.
Okay. So, do you know whether or not this is Buster's .300 Blackout sitting here in the courtroom?
That is the gun that I used at Moselle.
Okay. Now, when Paul would clean his truck out, he would take, well, let me back up. Paul normally keep guns in his truck?
That's correct.
.300 Blackout, 12 gauge, anything else?
Sometimes some pistols, but
And there are times when Paul would clean his truck out, and then he would take the guns and leave them in the shed down there by the kennels, right?
that's correct.
And sometimes he would forget that he left them down there, right?
That's correct.
And I think you described him as being careless with leaving guns around. Is that right?
I'd say so.
Okay. And he'd even left guns in your truck, right?
Correct.
Now, Paul was a guy who liked to work with his hands outside, correct?
Correct.
And he loved the Moselle property. Is that right?
I'd say so.
And he liked to work the land with equipment and plant for game management, for duck hunting and dove hunting and things like that, right?
That's correct.
And to do that, you know, he wasn't always on his phone, right? I mean, he liked to work with his hands. Is that fair to say?
Wouldn't say that altogether. Take several breaks while he's working with his hands.
Right. And I think you've described it. I mean, he would put his phone down, and while he was doing some work, and then he'd forget where it was. He'd lose it. He'd go back and find it later.
That's correct.
That happened fairly regularly, didn't it?
I'd say so.
And you listened to the video that was played. Did you hear water running in the background?
I'm not sure.
What kind of work would Paul do down there by the kennels?
What do you mean?
I mean, you know, would he, if Bubba or the other dog had messed in their dog run, would he clean it up?
I'd say so.
Okay. And if he did that, you know, perhaps he'd put his phone down while he did that so it wouldn't get wet?
I would assume so.
Yeah. It's a reasonable thing to do, right?
I'd say so.
Okay. Now, you were close with Alex, Maggie, Paul, and Buster. That you and your brother were, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were able to observe Alex's relationship with Paul, right?
Yes, sir.
How would you describe it?
I'd say it was a very loving relationship.
Okay. And okay. And how would you describe Alex's relationship with Maggie?
I would describe it the same.
1 second, Your Honor. To your knowledge, after the boating accident, did Paul receive threats of any kind?
That's correct.
What kind of threats were you aware of?
Just threats that he would say people would text him, or different social media platforms, but
Right.
didn't really go into very vivid detail or anything.
I'm sorry.
Didn't go into very vivid detail about anything. He just
And his circle of friends got really close, tight after the boating accident, and you and your brother. I mean, he talked to you all frequently, did he not?
That's correct.
Okay. And then he would go to Charleston to visit with friends down there, correct?
That's correct.
Because he didn't feel comfortable, you know, in the Hampton area where he lived because of the boating accident. Is that right?
He stayed away.
Yes, sir. That's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Redirect.
Nathan, you were asked about threats to Paul. Did you ever know that Maggie received any threats?
Not aware of any, no.
I'm going to ask you, counsel asked you about a little bit about the kennel area and asked if you'd heard water. Are you familiar with how generally the kennels were cleaned? Were you there when the kennels would be cleaned?
Sometimes.
Okay. Generally speaking, describe the kennel for me. What was actually inside of one of the kennel runs?
The kennel had a doghouse, beds in the doghouse, and just kind of like a concrete pad.
And if you're going to rinse off the kennels, what would you do with the dog bed?
You would put it on top of the dog house,
Okay, and why was that?
so it wouldn't get wet.
And then what would you just leave the dog, would the family or if you were cleaning it, leave the dog bed up on the top of the kennel, or are they going to bring it down when the kennel, after a certain point in time?
You wait for it to dry and then bring the bed.
If you were down there or anyone was down there at the kennel area and it was nighttime, would you turn the lights on?
Yes, sir.
Are there sufficient lights out there to make it a fairly well-lit area if all the lights are on?
I'd say so.
If you're at the main house and the lights are on down at the kennels, can you see that area from the house?
Yes.
Would it be very visible to you to see that there's lights on down there?
Yes.
Would the fans, are there fans in the kennel area?
There are.
Would the fans be left on generally for the dogs?
Generally.
And again, if anyone was down there working, would the lights be turned on?
Yes, sir.
So, no further questions.
Anything further?
Counsel asked you a question about Paul's phone usage. I think he said Paul uses his hands and what he would do with his phone. Do you recall if Paul did have to use his phone, would he put it in any of his pockets?
If he was working outside in that capacity, the pocket he would put it in would be his back pocket.
And that was the common thing he would do almost nearly every time?
That's correct.
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further? Just a moment, sir.
Your Honor, thank you.
You may step down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this day. Please, we'll have a good weekend, and we'll see you 9:30 Monday morning.